Hi, my name's Otheka. I'm doing my final video today for my last little points until I've officially completed the course. So I've got little points on 209, 203 and 201. I've only got a few and I'm going to be I've already noted it all down here on my phone. So I'm just going to be reading off that, but expanding it more just so I can clear everything. So a bit like question and answer just with myself. So the first 209 is make sure your own actions reduce risk to health and safety. So the first point is identify hazards to evaluate the risk in your workplace. So first being 1.7, report to the people responsible for health and safety in your workplace those hazards which present the highest risk. So my people that I mentioned for if any health and safety breaches occur, the people that I go to is Tom and Sarah, my two managers. So we have obviously our pens. Some dogs jump, so we have pens on top of the pens to stop them from jumping over. In one block, the pen overhangs, so when you're walking, if you're tall, luckily most of us isn't, but if some of the taller boys, when they walk past, they have to duck. So obviously that's a health and safety breach because they could hit the head at any moment. Being college students as well is even worse. That is, I go and tell Tom and Sarah, say, look, this isn't safe, this is the breach that's been happening, and then they'll go and remove it or shorten it down so that it is still a jumping kennel, but it isn't overhanging so they can hear us. So 2.5 is follow the workplace instructions and suppliers or manufacturers' instructions for the safe use of equipment, materials and products. So products such as Trigene, so we do sometimes use them in kennels as well, need to be read, and you need to make sure the manufacturer's instructions are correct to how you're using them. So if we're using them incorrectly, we should really follow the manufacturer's instructions. So we need to know the contact time, the dilution rate, if it's good with animals, if it's potent, if the smell's a bit strong, so we have to open the doors. So it's fine, you can use it around animals, it's absolutely fine. The ratio is 1 to 100, so usually about 1 or 2 squirts to a whole bucket of water, and the contact time is 5 minutes, so that's the time it takes to get all disinfectants. It doesn't harm animals either, so that is us following the workplace, the instructions on the manufacturer's guidance on the back of the bottle as such. So 2.6 is report any differences between workplace instructions and suppliers on manufacturer's instructions. So if we're using the Trigene different to how it should be used, so we're not leaving it on long enough, we're only putting it on, scrubbing it off and putting it back off, that's not going to be cleaned properly. So this is where, if there's a difference between how Tom and Sarah tell us to clean it compared to a difference to how Trigene manufacturers tell us to clean it, this is where I'd go ahead, do my own bit of research, find out what is actually right, and then go back to Tom and Sarah and say, look, this is wrong, this is how we need to do it. So obviously then the safety is a lot higher and the standard would be a lot better as well. So just to clarify the correct usage of it. So 2.8, make sure they follow environmentally friendly working practices. So some of the disinfectants we use are scented, but they can be quite potent. So obviously doors and windows have to be open. But if we're using a very potent disinfectant all day, every day, it's going to damage the environment around us. So we've just got to make sure that it's environmentally friendly. It's not too strong, so we'll go for a smaller scent that's not as strong, not as it's diluted a little bit more. So it's environmentally friendly working practices. So for 203, that's the first little section done. 203 is promote and maintain health and well-being of animals. So be able to promote and maintain the health and welfare of the animals. So for the first bit, which is 1.2, provide animals with sufficient and effective opportunities to move and maintain physical functioning. So allowing the animals to have access to the outside runs as much as possible. So as soon as they're cleaned, traps are open and dogs are outside, so they've got the access to the outside at all times. If it's cold outside, they can come inside to their beds. They've always got that. Also, they also get the chance at least 2 to 3 times a day, rehoming dogs even more because we get volunteers to come down to walk them, so they can be out 3, 4, 5 times a day on little short walks. So they do get the opportunity to go out on their walks and get out of their kennel to have free exercise as such. So that's the providing the animals with the sufficient opportunity to obviously move and maintain physical functioning. And also their bedding is big enough for them not just to turn around and sit down, it's big enough for them to have a little panter up and down when something to do with their stress. It is big enough for them to all fully move and have space. So 1.7 is seek assistance immediately for any animal's health or welfare emergency and initiate action as appropriate to the situation. So a situation, for example, would be like if I'm clipping a dog and where I'm clipping around its leg, if it's got like loose skin, I catch the skin and make it bleed. That could be quite an immediate situation because it could be a big catch, it could be a little catch. So if it's a big catch, straight away, if the animal's small, the first thing I do is pick the animal up with a towel around it where I've caught the skin to make it bleed, and take it straight to Tom and Sarah, and just say, look, this is what's happened, like, help me, what do we do? Hopefully get them to a vet straight away. If it's a larger animal, I'd maybe call for help, because there's always someone around the corner. Call for help, ask them to come in and help me out with it. So taking the dog to a manager or a supervisor straight away will reduce the chance of it getting infected. So if it's only me that knows and no one else knows and no one else helps treat it, it could get infected and it can get a lot worse. So I should also I tell them what happened, how it happened, what I used, show them what I used, disinfect what I used after, and hopefully ask them what's to be done next, because then I can maybe see whether it's anything I can do or whether it has to be personal to a professional now. Okay, and the last one is Unit 201, maintain and develop personal performances, maintain personal performance. So 1.2 of 201 unit, carry out work in accordance with responsibilities and organisational requirements to develop personal performance. So in terms of the kennels, the way I work, I do the work that I've been told to do. If a manager comes up to me and says, don't do that anymore, do this, I stop doing what I'm doing, pass it on to someone else, and I go and change what I'm doing. I still obviously take care of all my responsibilities. So if someone says, can you go and clean isolation block or front block? But I know there's this one specific dog that I do every week, and he has his medication. It's me that has to give it and administrate it. I'll do all my other jobs that I've been told to do, but still keep my responsibility to give that dog its pill, and I will do that. And obviously note down on the observation sheet, I've done it, so all the notes and records are clarified that it's been done. It doesn't need to be done again because that could be very fatal for the dog. So obviously it's good organisation having that done. And finally, last but not least, is 2.3, seek advice from an appropriate person if clarification is required concerning a specific task. So if I'm unsure on the type of medication, so someone says, can you give this medication to a dog, Metacam for instance, because we do administer that. Can you give this Metacam medication to a dog? Yes, sure. Metacam goes on the weightage of the dog. So it's not just small dog, big dog, little dog. It's the correct weightage on how much dosage they should have. So if I'm unsure on how much to give this dog beforehand, before I even bother getting it out, I need to make sure that I've weighed the dog, measured it all out, and I've got the correct amount of medication before I'm going to give it out to the dog. So dosage needs to be exactly correct, otherwise the animal will get very ill. So that's me seeking advice from my supervisors and from my managers for clarification on, obviously, my specific task, which there is administering medication. Okay, thank you.